Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
Welcome to Caribbean Perspective. So glad you can join us. The story that takes the lead in today's edition for Tuesday, 3rd September 2024, and brought to you in association with our friends at Antillian Group. As the region grapples with escalating crime, one diplomat is chiming in as it relates to Antigua and Barbuda. Details after this important message.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all, perils big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so glad to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
Welcome back. Veteran diplomat Sir Ronald Sanders is calling for everyone to play their part in tackling the uptick in violence, since crime, like a disease, can fester and grow. Sir Ronald was speaking in an exclusive interview with ABS News from Washington, D.C. last week. He also says it is crucial for those deported to the country to be monitored. ABS's Garfield Burford reports.
The problem with a virus is that it spreads. And crime is a virus. And it is demonstrated that it has the capacity to cross borders, just as the COVID-19 pandemic did. And once it has that capacity to cross borders, and it's not crossing borders, I mean, by physical people. It's crossing borders by mentality.
So Ronald Sanders telling ABS News this week about the transnational nature of crime and how it is very much like a disease. The same point has been made by Prime Minister Honorable Gaston Brown, who says violent crime must be treated as a public health issue. So Ronald emphasizes the regional footprint of criminals and their syndicates.
It's like a multinational business with branches set out across the Caribbean.
He makes it clear the scourge of violent crime will take a concerted effort to address, since the stakes are high.
These are all things at which the society as a whole has to become a part of. Because if they are not, we may very well end up like Haiti, in which you have a country controlled by gangs. Gangs who rape women, rape children, kill their victims, even barbecue them, and then boast about it. And people live in a state of terror. That is not a way for any one of us to live. It's not what we want. But let me tell you, if we get there, we can kiss the things that make our country economically sound goodbye. Because tourism will come to an end. And we have to understand, therefore, that each of us has a vested interest in this matter. And we have to join the government regardless of where in society we may stand.
The veteran diplomat points to the multifaceted nature of the crime problem, with law enforcement and border protection agencies having a role to play in monitoring people deported to the country's shores.
When my embassy, for instance, sends back deportees from the United States to Antigua, which we have to do. We are bound to do it legally. We have no choice. We present the entire criminal background of these people to the police and to immigration. The question is, what happens with that information? Do the police continue to keep these people under surveillance, or they're just out into society doing what they want? That's one of the things that we have to start looking at as a fundamental problem of the infestation, the infection of this disease that is happening in our societies.
He told us while governments in the region are tackling their national crime challenges, there must be a renewed commitment to an effective regional response. What is needed, he says, is a kind of FBI of the Caribbean.
7 men were arrested after a shootout with police on Saturday in Trinidad and Tobago. According to a police report, Northern Division Task Force officers went to a house along Calypso Road, Manzanilla, to execute a search warrant for firearms and ammunition. More in this TTT News item.
The officers observed a group gathered at the front of the house, but upon noticing the police, fled towards the back of the house. The officers pursued, and one of the men allegedly pointed a firearm in their direction. In keeping with the use of force policy, officers returned fire. A chase ensued, and the officers subsequently subdued 2 men. A 27-year-old Spanish national was found. One magazine containing 7 rounds of 9mm ammunition was allegedly found in his pants pocket. A second Spanish national was found holding a bandana, which upon further examination contained a hand grenade. Both men were taken to hospital to be treated for gunshot wounds. During a search of the house, police found 1 Taurus 9mm pistol with 2 black-colored magazines and 6 rounds of ammunition. 5 other persons were arrested in connection with the find.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick,
in association with our friends at
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Over in Haiti, police working with Kenyan forces have launched a joint operation to force criminal gangs out of the capital, Port-au-Prince. Haiti's Prime Minister made the announcement while visiting a hospital treating officers who were injured in a shootout earlier on in the week. Kenyan forces are on the ground as part of the UN security mission to Haiti. More than 3,200 killings have been reported this year due to gang violence. Prime Minister Gary Corneille is calling for Haitians to support the operation. DW News reports on this.
I'm tired of coming to visit police officers who have been injured by bullets. I'm tired of attending the funerals of police officers. This must be resolved. It's going to take time. It's going to take patience. It's not going to be quick, but we're not backing down. It requires the commitment of the whole society, the solidarity of all Haitians, and we're asking the Haitian people to play their part.
Journalist Vidlo Merencourt joins me now from Port-au-Prince. Vidlo, thank you so much for being here. What more can you tell us about this anti-gang operation?
Was announced is there was, this joint operation by the Haitian National Police and also forces from Kenya. 3 police officers were injured during this operation. It is announced that, many gangs members would have been killed, but so far we don't have concrete, a tally of what happened.
Mm-hmm. Now, Kenyan police forces have been in Haiti since June, so have they made a difference so far?
Well, I don't think they have made that much of a difference. For instance, 80% of the Haiti capital today is still under the control of gangs. More than 500,000 people are displaced by gang violence. We have, tens of thousands of them, went, to the south. We have, thousands of people in camps all over the Haiti capitals are living not inside their own houses today. And, the gangs are still attacking many neighborhoods. So we are actually seeing some sort of change in the tone of the population. If you go to the internet, people are more critical of this force as, things are not improving.
Speaking about the people who've been displaced, the estimate is around 600,000 Haitians have been forced out of their homes. Can you tell us a bit about what the situation is like for them?
Well, it's a very difficult situation. Most of these people went to the south of the country, and this is a place that was already struggling with so many issues. In 2021, in August, they suffered a major earthquake. Many schools and many other key infrastructures, including roads, have not been rebuilt since then. It's a place that suffered also from different storms, including a 2016 storms that destroyed so many infrastructures and plantations. And this region is still reeling from these catastrophes. As I talked to local officials there, they say they are overwhelmed. They are seeing an increase in terms of sexual violence, including against kids. they are also seeing, so many kids in the streets without parents.
And what about the civilians who are living in neighborhoods run by gangs? What's life like for them? Just briefly, please.
Well, life is extremely difficult. So when gangs come to your neighborhood or when they settle in your neighborhood, virtually every aspect of life is controlled by them. They, ransack houses, kill people, and including they would also do many sexual violences.
That's journalist Vidlo Merencourt in Port-au-Prince. Thank you so much.
The European Union's 27 foreign ministers said Maduro would remain Venezuela's de facto president, but that they denied his democratic legitimacy. Details in this Euronews item.
The European Union says it won't recognize Nicolas Maduro's government in Venezuela, 1 month after disputed elections were held. Venezuela's refused to give the EU the official voting records, which it says it needs to see to authenticate the results. There's strong evidence to suggest that opposition candidate Edmundo González won by a margin of nearly 2-1. On Wednesday, Maduro's opponents once again protested in Venezuela's capital Caracas, a month after the president was declared the winner. In a brutal crackdown, more than 2,000 journalists, politicians and students have been arrested since the election was held. González, who the United States says was the real winner of the election, addressed an EU foreign ministers meeting on Thursday. The EU hasn't said who they think won, but it's considering sanctioning more members of both the government and Venezuela's National Assembly. That's not likely to be enough, argues one of the opposition's advisers. The link between Maduro's government and the top ranks of the army must be broken if it's to be encouraged to democratize, Nelson Dordeli Rosales says, and aid must also be linked to democratization.
Another action that could be some type of incentive is to create a package, an aid package, linked to the democratic transition of Venezuela. So once the Venezuelan transition is in place or is heading to that direction, this financial package will be available for the reconstruction of the democratic system in Venezuela. Those are incentives that could be provided in order to break this situation where you have de facto authority relying on the military for support.
And Rosales has also suggested the creation of an EU special envoy, as has been done for other turbulent regions of the world.
Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, has hailed Sir Sridhar Sonny Ramphal as one of the greatest leaders and impactful citizens. Again, more in this TTT News item.
Expressing his condolences on behalf of the university, Sir Hilary said, Sonny contributed much to the development of Caribbean civilization and institutions. I am sorry for his passing, but I am proud of his contributions. Between 1989 and 2003, Sir Sridhar served as Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, a tribute to his contribution to the university's mission and vision is the Sridhar Ramphal Center for International Trade Law, Policy and Services. This center aims to develop trade capacity and develop innovative trade solutions for the Caribbean region.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean.
In the meantime, please follow us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel for daily regional news and more, in association with our friends at Antillian Group.
Believe in our strength, we'll stand by you. Protection from all perils, big and small. Reassurance we give, it's so clear to see. Peace of mind, that's our service guarantee. We look after all our family. Yes, we do at every opportunity.
Antillian Group, underwriters of all classes of insurance solutions for your protection and investment. Live well financially.